Okay, I'm on my third time recording this, so I'm so sorry. Um, Today I'm going to show you how to do the Handmade and Heartfelt kit along with the other cards. The card kit comes with two sets of 5 cards. So 2 people are going to split the kit, and I found it to be the most cost effective. So you'll each get your own set of cards to make. Then there will be a set of stamps, a ink spot, a ink block or a stamp block, and then there's also going to be a thing that can be made for storing cards, a card organizer. So those items are going to be split between the 2 people that are having the kit. I found that to just work better. So I'm just going to go straight to how to read a instruction sheet, because that's going to be easier. So if you ever have to take a kit, kits are great to have when you go places. So this way you'll understand how to use or look at the instruction sheets versus just watching me and having me tell you everything. This way you can kind of go over it and figure out how to do it. A lot of it you can probably look at it and figure out how to make the card, but I will show you how to read the instruction sheets. I'm just going to switch over to that screen. Okay, so now we are on the screen with the instruction sheets. This one has it's quite lengthy because it opens up and it shows you all 5 cards, and then also how to put together the card organizer. Card 1 is actually going to be this one. I only have 4 of the 5 cards. One of them I must have already mailed out. It's going to be this one here. So you're going to take the one that looks like kind of like a tree, but it's supposed to look more like, if you can see my finger, it's supposed to be more like something you would see in the ocean or in the water. You're going to flip it over, and on the back side, this one shows you're going to put 6 dimensionals on it, and then on the shells you're going to put 2 on the big one and 1 on the little one. And here it shows you how it's going to be organized. It shows you some twine. Every single card over here, it shows you you're going to cut 15 inches of twine for each card. So if you want, just cut your 6 right away and you have that done. So what you're going to do over here is you're going to put, it doesn't show you this part, you're going to put a little bit of adhesive where you're going to put this, the twine. What you're going to do is you're going to take your twine and you're going to loop it like up like this, go down and go back over like this. If I have some twine somewhere, which I don't, let me see if I can show it to you on here. So you're gonna take it and it's gonna go like this. If you can tell, you're gonna go like this. Then you're gonna take the bottom half and you're gonna go back up and go like this. See if I can get it to show. I'm so close. Okay, I'm close. Here we go. There we go. Okay, you're going to have it go back and forth like this. That's very bad because my hand has to be in the way. You're going to go back and forth and you're going to put it on top of that adhesive. Now, you're not making a bow, you're just going back and forth, because once you put your label over the top, it's going to look like a bow. So that's why that is. Then you're going to put what this one uses, wishing you the best. You can do whichever sentiment you want on the card. I said thinking of you instead. So there's 5 ones you can use. One is the happy birthday. That one you'll just put aside. And so you'll just use the the other ones that are left, the 4, and you're gonna excuse me, double up on one of them for sure. Okay, so then we're gonna get to the second card. The second card is the rainbow one, and let me see if I have that one. I do. Okay, so here's the rainbow one. You're also gonna need the small little flower that comes out of the sheet that has all of the die cut flowers and such. So you're going to flip it over, and you're going to put, they have 5. They have a what do you want to call it? Dimensional in each corner. One right here in the middle of the where it starts the rainbow. And then they're taking one and they're cutting it in half, and they're putting it on one of the big rainbow things, whatever you call them, rainbow colors, okay? Then it shows you you're going to have 3 of the like the greenish sequence, okay? So you put it together, you flip it over. Same thing with the twine. You just kind of go back and forth. You're going to put over whichever one they're using, Hello Sunshine. Do whatever. And then you're just putting the 3 sequins wherever, okay? And then this is where the flower goes, is on top. All right, so that one is your second one. Whoop, your second card, okay? Your third card is going to be the one that, oh, I still have that one. That looks like a party or something. I switched the saying, because it's the one that we're not going to use, to wishing you the best. You are going to flip it over, put dimensionals on the back side, and it goes not vertically, it goes horizontally, and the circle is going over your banners. Over here's your saying, and then puts the sequins. I forgot to put sequins on mine. I'm going to have to see if I have any extras. I don't know what I did. That's how that one goes, okay? But of course you're going to look at everything, and then once you put your sentiment, you stamp your sentiment, you're going to put 2 dimensionals on, you're going to flip it over over top the twine. Now we're going to the next card. Okay, so now this next card was not one I kept. I must have given it away. So the next card has all of these circles, right? Okay, so you're going to flip it over, and this one does show you quite a bit of dimensionals. 1 in each corner, 2 in between these top circles, 2 in the middle, and then 1 in the middle over here, okay? So when you flip it over, you have a lot of stability with it. Okay, so now you have a lot of stability, okay? You do your twine, and then you do your sentiment, and you put it over your twine. This one is using the brownish sequence, all right? So now, let's get down to our last card. We are cruising, last card. Same thing. This one is actually using a very large flower, which is one of them that you will punch out, okay? It's a flower that has 2 big ones and a couple middle ones, but you don't see the middle ones because we put the thinking of you right over it. The twine we put in the middle, back and forth, and put the saying over the top, okay? Here they're showing you only 4, they're showing you 5 dimensionals, 1 in each corner, 1 in the middle. And then over here, they're doing 3 to keep this one solid. They put it over the middle of it. This is all going vertically. And then you're going to put your dimensionals here. They're showing a black dot and putting it here. I don't know what that means. I really don't. I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, so that's that. And then you got sequins that you put around that one. So that is your last card. It will look like this. Very easy once you get the concept of how to read this sheet. All right. And then here was just a big thing on telling you what all you needed for each card. Okay. So that's that. Now what I did is I wanted to show you how to take current stamping supplies that you might have in your craft room and create something very similar. So here is what I created that is similar to, don't know what's happening to my voice, similar to this one. I made it horizontal and this one was vertical. So I found a die cut that was basically, it was a tree, but I figured it looked a lot like as if it was under the sea. I didn't have these particular shells, but I had sand dollars, so I put sand dollars. And thinking of you, so it's basically you assemble it much like this. I used the same color palette to make it just easier for me to put it together. My tag I did not make white. Excuse me. I made it the very vanilla, like the smaller sand dollar, and then I found a twine that was greenish. I made it work. Now these here that you had from the kit had a white core, so you didn't have to worry about putting anything on the inside. But because I used my own supply, it wasn't a white core, so what I did is I took the very vanilla cardstock, put it in the middle, but I did put a couple stamps, what is that, starfish? A starfish. So that's the middle of the card. So that was that one, it made it similar to that. Okay, here is the rainbow. Now the rainbow is quite, excuse me, is quite complicated. And when you look at it, once you put it together, you're gonna be, oh, was that the coolest card ever? So you're going to get, let me see if I can find a, okay, so here's your packet of stuff that you're gonna get, okay? So I'm gonna show you what you're gonna, when you take everything out. Okay. So as you notice, because the inside, you needed a couple of the colors in the rainbow were the same color as the card base. So I couldn't have you put it right, the different patterns right on the card base, because two of them were the same color. So I made a white background to go in there. So you're gonna have all these pieces, and don't worry, do not worry about them, really, seriously. You're going to have, let's just put those down. So you're gonna have the white smaller piece is the one that's gonna go on the card front. You're gonna have a larger white piece that has a rainbow that will go on the inside. And then you have your very vanilla that's already got your rainbow punched, okay? So what you're gonna do is you are going to put this on your card front. And if you want, if it's gonna make it easier so it's not wobbling, you could just put this down flat right away and not fold it. And you're gonna put this, kind of center it. So this is gonna be centered, okay? So that's centered. Then this is where you're gonna think it's complicated, but it is not. It really is not. So you're gonna put this over the top, okay? Where it's gonna end up being over the card, okay? So keep it together, hold on to it. You're gonna take a pencil and you are going to go and you're gonna mark, see the bottom inside of each one of these rainbow stripes, okay? You're gonna do the bottom on both sides. Okay, now let me show you. Okay, you might not. See how I have the little dashes on each side? Okay, some are a little light, but that's fine. I found that even though I put the dashes in there, the rainbow stripes will end up kind of covering it up, and you're not going to need to go back and erase any of it. So you are going to, if you want, you can put this, put adhesive down and put this down and work on it, or you can just do this separately and work on it. Put something underneath. I think I have silicone sheets for you to use. That's good because then you don't have to worry about glue sticking to everything. So this one here, this is the biggest one. I would start with the biggest one. It is, it's got tons of little holes, so you might worry about that. So if you have a glue that is gonna dry clear, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna know which side goes up and which side goes down. So you're gonna flip it over, you're gonna maybe put a little bead of glue all around it, and you're gonna flip it over, and then you're gonna line up each bottom to those lines. And you're going to just make sure you hold onto your stripe for just a few seconds until it is actually set. The glue might still be wet, but it is set in place, and that's what you want. Okay, so then what I did, now what's next, this one here is going to be your next big one. I actually waited and did this one last. It just was a little easier doing it last. So then your next one is going to be this big green one. Now I don't know if you remember, but we did a card a few months ago, a rainbow card, and it had this, but you didn't have any of the stripes, right? I kept those stripes, and now today I get to use them in here. It's so funny. This is what I did. I just threw them in a baggie, and I thought, oh, so I was pretty happy with myself. I gave myself a big pat on the back. So then you're going to do glue on this one. That'll be the next one you put in, but skip a dash. You go to the next set of dashes, put that one in. Then you have your squiggly. This one's going to probably be the one that's going to give you the most issues with glue because you're going to have glue all over. You put the squiggly in, press it down, and the two bottoms will line up on top of those lines, okay? Then you're going to have your smallest one, which is this blue one. Okay? And you're going to line that one up on the lines. Okay, see? See how cool that is? Now we got this one last, and I'm going to show you why, because it's going to be a lot easier to line it up because it's not a full piece. You got two different pieces. So you're going to put glue on each one, and the bottom of the leaves, you're going to line that up on here, but you're going to swing it inside the space that you have, okay? And you're going to do the same with the other side. You're going to line it up on the bottom line and swing it in. It's not going to touch. It's supposed to have a little space. Don't worry about that. So now here is your rainbow, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put this on dimensionals and fill it up with dimensionals because you want this thing to be solid. You want it to stick up straight. You don't want it to dip in and out. You want it to be solid because you want it to really show your rainbow stripes. Once you got that in, you're going to put it over the top. So this is why it might be at this point, before you do that, you might actually, because I've done it both ways. I've done it this way and I put all of them in. And so now here, your dimensionals that are over here, they're going to go off a little bit, and so you it will be good because it will also go up on here, but by that time you haven't put any adhesive on the back of the white piece, so you're probably going to want to do your adhesive, put your white piece down, and then put this over the top with the dimensionals. So see how neat that is? This would actually be straightened up better. I don't have it stuck down. Now, you have this part right here, okay? So I used the sunshine one just because rainbow, sun, you know, make it fun, right? You're gonna have a strip of twine, or whatever it's called. You're gonna cut it into three 3-inch pieces, so you're gonna have a piece of it left. On each 3-inch piece, you are going to pull apart each end and fray it. Okay, so how you're gonna fray it, it's actually quite easy once you start. So you're gonna do this, you're gonna take your fingernail to the very end of this, and you're just gonna keep rubbing it and rubbing it and rubbing it, and it's gonna unravel the twirled pieces to it, and it's gonna fray. And then you do that to the end. You other end, you do it to all three. And then you're going to take twine, not twine, you're gonna take adhesive, and you're going to put the adhesive wherever you want your sign. I put it on the bottom of my rainbow. So I put adhesive down. I put my 3 down. Now, because they are kind of big, and I was just a little worried that they might not stick on the adhesive, so I did take some tear and tape and just put it over the top just to keep it down. And I didn't take the top off of it. I just left it so the tape was just on the bottom, the adhesive. Then I put dimensionals on each side and then put it around the twine. And then on the inside, like I showed you, you're going to have the rainbow, and that goes on the inside. So it's simple. I shouldn't say it's simple. That is going to be probably your more complicated one of all these cards, okay? So that one is that one. I will be walking you through it as well, so don't worry. This one is going to be fairly easy. So this one is going to be, it's going to be a replacement for this one. Now you see that this has banners. I didn't have any designer series paper with banners, but I thought, you know, this is really cute. I had a bunch of ones that had cute little animals that were looking like they were going to like a party or something. So I cut different animals. Some of you will have, I think, elephants or something. You're going to have different ones. And you're going to take your paper, and then your punch. So what I did is I lined up the paper to each individual one of these. So what's in your packet is one that has a cut in it that is going to go around whatever animal to feature. So what you may have to do is you may have to move this, the bottom sheet, that designer series paper, you may have to move it a little back and forth or up and down so you have it centered inside your circle. And then wherever you have that, then that's where you're gonna put the adhesive and get this put down. Then you're gonna take this piece and you're going to put it with dimensionals. I did put quite a bit of dimensionals around so it would stay solid. And you know, I gave you all different sequins or whatnot for each card too. This one, you're going to get just a 6-inch piece of this. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to fray each end. But this one, I just put in a loop and just put this over it. I thought that'd be something different. We've never done anything like that. I thought it was super cute. And then this goes over with dimensionals. The inside, I just have a white piece inside. I didn't really have any stamps that went with this designer series paper that I could think of that would work. So that is this one, super duper cute. Okay, so just letting you know, that's how you could make something similar to what was in the kit. Okay, this one is the one I don't have, the original from the kit. And this one, okay, this one I went a little a little weird on. I shouldn't say weird, but I actually made a template. So what I did is I took a piece of paper that was the same size as the one, this might actually be the one from inside the kit. No, it's not. Okay. So what I did is I put it over the one that had the circles, and I put a little dot in between each of the circles, and then I took a 1-inch punch and I punched out each one. So then that's how I I made each sheet. So this was the biggest one of assembling for me, because I had to punch each individual hole. And what I found was designer series paper that had a bunch of storefronts and houses. So when you put it down, and then when you put your holes or whatever over it, you kind of put it over so you can see a lot of the storefronts for the most part, and then you just put it down with dimensionals so it is raised up a little bit. You're going to do your sentiment. I did this in a like a what do you call it? Crumb cake. That's what it was, crumb cake. And you have your ribbon this way, again, back and forth. I did the inside, but I gave you a strip of paper that had some of those storefronts. You put that on the very bottom, and so that's going to be the inside of this one, okay? And that's going to match up the one that, excuse me, the one in your kit that I don't have. I've already sent it out to somebody. Now we get to our last card. I think I did pretty good on this one. So your Secret Sea paper, I cut. This one here had had it punched in a circle. I didn't have a punch like that, or a die cut. I did have a die cut that gave it a pattern. And so I put it through and I put this pattern in on the paper. I really like it. So this one goes down. You're going to want to put a lot of adhesive. I didn't put much adhesive on mine because the edges will kind of curl up a little bit, and that's just from going through the die cut machine, and it curled up the paper a little bit because of the type of die that was being used. So I found these flowers. I made 2 big ones and 2 small ones, and then also the middles. So you're going to make your flowers, put your middles in them, and then you're going to have leaves. So I put the 2 small ones in the middle, and then I put the 2 big ones on each side. Just kind of like this, kind of in a, one's up, the little one's a little bit lower. And then I put the leaves in. I used glue dots for that. I used glue dots for each of the centerpieces and glue dots to put these small ones down. You do have to be careful with the glue dots because sometimes it might not stick right away, and when you pull it up, it pulls the paper, and on these leaves, it might rip the leaves, so be a little careful when you do that on the leaves. I put Hello Sunshine just because the flower is making me think of outside in the sun, and you're trying to just put in between like that. And I gave you rhinestones for your embellishments. So this is the one that looks like this. So now you know you can take your current supplies in your own home and you can make similar cards. I love these. In fact, I did make the instruction sheets for them. I am going to make more because these are the kind of cards that when I send to people that aren't feeling good or just need cheering up, don't you think that these are the cards that are going to cheer people up? I mean, this one here definitely will cheer them up. The rainbow obviously is going to cheer them up. This would be a good one for a man. This one here. So, I mean, you can't, these are just like the best idea ever. So I used similar color patterns that were used in the cards. Very almost the Secret Sea was the same. The Petal Pink was the same. This, I'm not quite sure if this was the same, this crumb cake. I was kind of going along the lines of like with the seashell. And this one, I believe, was a crumb cake. So that's why I do have crumb cake in some of it. I hope you really enjoy this. You might, a couple of these, when you're doing that one, please don't use my name in vain, is all I'm asking. So enjoy putting these together. I will be on Zoom with you though. So enjoy your weekend. I hope you do get a chance to watch this. And I will see you all later. Oh, bye.